Okay, so in the last class, we have finished the topic that is extreme programming model under the agile development model. We have finished those topics. We have learned what is the main logic or the idea, why is it named so, and where are the areas where it is applicable and where are the areas where it is not suited to apply. Fine. Today we will start off with the next model, that is Scrum model. Now, Scrum model is another version of Agile development model under the category of Agile development model. In Scrum model, what happens? A project is divided into small parts of work that can be incrementally developed and delivered over the concept which we have discussed, time boxes, and those small parts of the work are known as sprints. So I will just write two lines first. So the small parts of work that the entire project is divided, it is known as sprints. Now the software, therefore, it will get developed over a series of manageable chunks of the project. So each sprint will typically take only a couple of weeks to complete, because when we frame the time boxes for each sprint, there will be a time box for each sprint, and those time boxes generally vary from within a few weeks. So each sprint will take a couple of weeks to complete. Okay. So at the end of each sprint is being made, the stakeholders and the team members, they meet in order to measure or assess the progress which is made, and the stakeholders, they suggest to the development team that if any changes is needed to the features that have already been developed, and if any overall improvements that they might feel it is necessary to incorporate. So after each sprint has been developed, the team members, the stakeholders, they will all do a meeting in order to progress and to see if any changes is required in that particular sprint, or in the overall improvement, or any features need to be added, it will be checked. Now in this Scrum model, the team members, they assume three fundamental roles. One is that of the software owner, one is another is of the Scrum Master, and another is of the team member. Okay. So the team members, they assume these three fundamental roles. That is, first is the software owner. Now the software owner, he is responsible for communicating with the customers the vision of the software to the development team. So the software owner, he is responsible for communicating the customers the vision of the software to the development team. The Scrum Master, his role is to act as a intermediary between the software owner and the team member, and the team member, they will overall facilitate the development work. So three categories are there. One's job is to communicate with the customers and make them understand about the software. Another's team's work is to, 1 minute, okay, just 1 minute. So the three categories are: first they will communicate with the customers. The next, the third category is the team who are responsible or who will facilitate the development work. And the scrum masters, they play the role of making this model understandable by both the customer and the development team, and also they provide a platform where they can constantly be in touch, that is this model is being followed or not, they can supervise. Okay, so this is the overall concept about the Scrum model under the Agile Development Model. Now, all the basic models that we were supposed to learn, we have learned. One and only one model is remaining that I am going to start. That is the last model under this software development lifecycle models in your syllabus or for you to study. That is the very famous model, spiral model. Okay. Uh, First, I will try to draw the model. Okay. I, mm, Oops. Maybe I could not make it look a bit like a spiral and a circle. Please do not mind. This is the first quadrant, one. This is next, two. This is three, and this is four. Now here I will write down the one, two, three, four. Okay. Now this spiral model, it gets its name from the appearance of the diagrammatic representation that looks like a spiral with many loops. If you can notice the figure, it looks like a spiral with many loops. So due to this, they have got this name of this spiral model. Now the exact number of loops of the spiral, it is not fixed and it can vary from project to project. So this number of loops which I have shown, it is just an example. So in actual situation, the number of loops will depend on which project the model is based on. So each loop of the spiral is called a phase of the software process. So I will write it down here so that it is easier for you people. So the exact number of phases through which the product is developed, it can be varied by the project manager depending on the project risks that are associated with that particular project. So prominent feature of this spiral model is that it can handle unseen risks that can show up much after the project has started. So since there is a spiral concept, that is the phases are interlapping with each other, so few risks that show up after the project has started that were not identified in the first instance, they can be handled. If you can recollect the prototyping model, that model was effectively used when the risks in a project can be identified much before the development work starts. But this model is much more flexible for those reasons or to other comparison to other software development lifecycle models, because sometimes it is not possible to document the all possible risks that may occur when a project is starting before the development work is started. Sometimes after the development work is started, then only the risks can be seen and handled and managed. So for those type of things, prototype model was not the best one. Here is the main advantage of this spiral model. So while the prototyping model, it definitely provided support for risk handling. Risks are assumed to have been identified completely before the project start. So those risks that have been identified before the project has starting, those type of risk handling support they gave, because since prototype is constructed only at the start of the project. So in contrast to this, in the spiral model, the prototypes are built at the start of every phase. So remember this thing, in the spiral model, the prototypes are built So in prototype model, it was built at the start of the project, whereas here the prototypes are built at the start of every phase. So each phase of the model is presented as a loop in this diagrammatic representation. Over each loop, one or more features of the product are elaborated, are analyzed, and the risks at that point of time are identified and they are resolved using or with the help of prototyping concept. And based on this, the identified features, they are implemented. So over each loop in this model, one or more features of the product, they are explained, they are analyzed, the risk at that point of time, they are identified, they are resolved with the help of construction of prototypes, and based on this, the features are implemented. The identified features that need to be implemented for that particular project, those are implemented. Is this concept of spiral model clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So
Yes,
I
ma'am.
am saying
Yes,
this.
ma'am.
Okay, so anyone has to say anything? My laptop, I'm not being able to hear properly. So you can just write in the chat box, okay, if any query is there so that I can address and answer. Okay, 1 minute. So when I am talking about this risk handling in spiral model, first we need to know that what is a risk. So, a risk is any adverse circumstance that might hamper the successful completion of any software project. We refer to it as risk. For example, suppose there is a project for which a risk can be that the data are accessed from a remote database. Now, this data accession, it might be too slow to be acceptable by the customer. Maybe it's from the remote place, the network is not good, and from where the data is being accessed, it is very slow and the customers are not accepting it. So this is also another risk. Risk does not always mean that it is related to security and so. Risk means any adverse circumstances due to which the successful completion of the software project is hampered. So if suppose I am building a project and I am for the final evaluation, I am submitting the customer, and in order to do that the data access time is taking too slow and the customer is not accepting this, so obviously my project will be at halt because the customer is not approved of the project. So any hamper in my project completion will mean that that is the risk for my project. So this risk, it can be resolved by building a prototype. So for this database access data problem, what could I have done? I could have done build a prototype of my data access subsystem and then experimenting that prototype with the exact access rate. If I can see that the prototype is okay, it is giving me good result with the exact access rate that my customer is demanding, then I will say that okay, my prototype is perfect. I can convert this into an actual software. And if the data access rate is too slow, maybe some other scheme can be implemented or a faster communication scheme can be deployed to overcome this data access rate. So I can identify my risk, I can analyze my risk, I can resolve my risk with the help of making prototypes only. So such risk resolutions, they are much easier to be done by using a prototype than in order at the first instant making a main project. So if I make prototypes, I can evaluate faster in comparison to the actual software application that is being developed. So the spiral model, it's supposed coping up with this risk development, risk identification, risk resolve factor. It provides the scope to build a prototype at every phase of the software development. So since it allows to build a prototype at every phase of the software development, and we have just learned that why risk handling is so much, becomes so much easier when we can work with prototypes than the actual software. So yes, spiral model is the best choice when it comes to risk handling situations. Now, the four quadrants, as you can see, I have divided my entire screen into four quadrants, 1, 2, 3, 4. And each of the quadrant, I have named something. The first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one. Now, I will explain that what these are the first I need to tell that these four quadrants, it represents the phases of the spiral model. Now we will discuss what is exactly we mean by the phases of the spiral model. देखो बोले ना जाए. Okay, so each phase in this spiral model is split into four sectors or four quadrants, which was just displayed in the figure. In the first quadrant, a few features of the software, they are identified to be taken up for immediate development, then which each iteration around the spiral, beginning from the center and then moving outwards, progressively more complete versions of the software they are built. So in other words, implementation of the identified features will form one phase. So first quadrant, a few features of the software are identified. They are taken up for immediate development based on the fact that how much it is crucial to the overall software developments. The basic features must be taken, it must be built, and with each iteration around the spiral, with each circle around the spiral, more complete versions of the software they are built. Okay, so first is the quadrant 1. Oh, sorry. Right? So since I have written the main goal of this quadrant 1, the objectives are investigated, they are elaborated, they are analyzed. So in quadrant 1, what happens? Okay. So based on this, the risks involved in meeting the phase objectives, they are identified. In this quadrant, the alternative solutions that are possible for the phase under consideration, they are proposed. So the objectives are investigated, they are elaborated, they are analyzed, and alternative solutions are proposed. Fine. Now is the work of quadrant 2. Now during the second quadrant, the alternative solutions which were proposed in quadrant 1, they are evaluated to select the best possible solution. So whatever solutions was proposed in quadrant 1, in quadrant 2, all the solutions are evaluated and the best possible solution is selected. So to be able to do this, the solutions are always evaluated by developing an appropriate prototype. So in this phase, this is the phase where the development of an appropriate prototype starts. Because in order to pick one solution, I need to apply the solution on a prototype to see for which case the prototype gives the best result. So this is where the prototyping development activity starts. Okay. Okay. First, I will share with you the attendance. Then I will be continuing. Okay, so I hope everyone has been able to make the attendance. So let us quickly go back to what we were sharing. Fine. So now we will talk about quadrant 3. Okay. So activities during the third quadrant, it consists of developing and verifying the next level of the software. So Okay, so at the end of the third quadrant, the identified features they have been implemented and the next version of the software is available. Now what is a quadrant 4? Activities during the fourth quadrant, they concern reviewing the results of the stages traversed so far. বাচ্চা দেখো। হুম। So in the fourth quadrant, they will review the results of the stages so far that has been traversed. That is the stages of the developed versions of the software. They will review it with the customer and they will plan the next iteration of this spiral. Okay. So the radius of this uh, spiral at any point, it will represent the cost incurred in that project so far, and the angular dimensions, it will represent the progress made so far in the current phase. Okay, so I will just write it down. It will represent the cost incurred in the project so far, and the angular dimension, it will represent the progress made so far in the current phase. Okay, not about the entire project but in the current phase. Okay, so the radius of the spiral will represent something else, that is the cost associated, and the angular dimension will represent the progress associated. Okay, these are the two things that you should remember. Okay, so this was all about the spiral model. Less than 1 minute is left, so I hope you have been able to understand. In case of any query, you may ask me anytime. Okay, so I am just stop sharing and I am ending this class. Thank you so much for attending.